Pull! Oh! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Woohoo!
How to do planning in macro and how micro planning done and its examples.
Micro and macro planning. In education, micro planning is about creating efficiency learning. It is like creating a roadmap or planning on how to achieve the target goal and setting rules. For example of this is materials in learning and the objectives. So these are the goals in studying a specific topic. In education and learning, we also have macro. Macro planning means achieving the highest standards or level. They are more focused on the higher ideas and the perspective. And the aim of this planning is to achieve highest potential. For example of macro planning is activities including timelines and instructions. Instructions that should be followed.
So here are the definitions of the following: status planning, corpus planning, and prestige planning according to Hogan. First is the status planning. It is the process of allocation of language or variety to functional domains within a society, thus affecting the status or standing of a language. It is about making some dialects official languages for a territory. Very often, part of status planning is creating a writing system for a language that was only spoken before. It is mostly want us to change the language the way it was used. Second one is corpus planning. This can be defined as those aspects of language planning which are primarily linguistic and hence internal to language. It refers to the prescriptive intervention in the forms of a language. Planning decisions are made to engineer changes in the structure of the language. It is also an internal development of a language, includes the grammar and lexicon. And the third one is the prestige planning. It is concerned with raising the prestige of any given language so that members of the targeted speech community develop a positive attitude toward it. It's also the process whereby each language is positioned in a given society according to its status, its image, and the self-perception of the speaker.
Status language planning might also be connected to cultural ways wherein Europeans, Asian, and Americans have their own language planning. Corpus is how the language forms according to its desired function for local languages in the provincial part, and the function is to preserve the native language from their ancestors. Prestige represents a specific language or dialect that is not common and new to students. For example, Mandarin language prestige is showing step-by-step and procedures. There are 4 types of stages of planning according to Hogan. The first one is selection, second is codification, third is implementation, and the fourth one is elaboration. Selection, term used to refer to the choice of a language variety to fulfill certain functions in a given society. The second one is codification, the creation of a linguistic standard or norm for a selected linguistic code. It is divided up to 3 stages. The first one is graphization, developing a writing system. Second is grammaticalization, deciding on rules or norms of grammar. And lastly, lexicalization, identifying the vocabulary. The next one is implementation, promoting of the decisions made in the stages of selection and codification, which can include marketing strategy, production of books, pamphlets, newspaper, and textbooks using the new codified standard. And the last one is elaboration. It refers to the terminology and stylistic development of a codified language to meet the communicative demands of modern life and technology. Its main area is the production and dissemination of new terms.
On the other hand, elaboration in language planning is a technique that is based around going into detail when describing ideas and study material. For example, you are about to teach a student to identify and learn to read a word. The word is ladybug. You'll show them a picture of a lady and a bug.
We interview Ma'am Trisha Latayan from Southeast Asia Institute of Trade and Technology. First question is, elaborate how language practices learned before and today. Her answer is, language practices before were based on cultural norms and beliefs, while now, in the present, our language evolves through methods of teaching different linguistic aspects. The second one is, identify or explain the language practices then and now. Her answer is, languages before are just like how we communicate with our society and culture, while now, it deals with our observation and interpretation of other languages. Next is, what is language beliefs and ideology? Language is social because we use it to communicate with others, expressing our feelings and ideas to be able to understand and be understood. And the last one, as an English teacher, what are the importance of language management? Miss Latayan answers that language management is helping us communicate effectively by facilitating interaction and collaboration between the teachers and the students in the classroom.